So I'm going to have to rewind the clock a little bit for today's talking head. You know how we constantly say, where's the proof, right? The animal rights activists want to put an end to hunting. And we say, well, there's going to be these detrimental knock-on effects, right? But rarely do we have the proof. Well, we have the proof today, and it comes out of Spain. So let me rewind the clock. On December 5th, 2020, Law 30/2014 in Spain said that hunting in the national parks is now banned. When you hear the banning on national parks, you think, well, what's the big deal, right? Well, in Spain, it's a little different in that the national parks run by the federal government at the state level comprises private land. So does the natural parks, but that happens at a regional level. And so at a national level, those private lands that are held under the national park system have been told you are not allowed to hunt anymore. The pushback was, well, you have to manage these animals. Someone has to hunt them. Someone has to manage them, because if you don't, the habitat's going to get absolutely denuded because the population's going to skyrocket. I know, it's absolutely mind-blowing. But those private landowners said, well, where are we going to get revenue from? We get revenue from hunting. But not just that. What about the sustainability of the landscape, of the habitat? You have to take animals off the landscape. Red stag, wild boar. Otherwise, the habitat's going to get crushed. So what's the plan? There was no plan. It was just stop hunting, because the ARA said stop hunting at the federal level, and they thought it was a good idea. So on May 9th in 2021, we released a video that said a couple of things. Hunting revenues are going to go down because of this decision. Absolutely. Number two, wildlife populations are going to skyrocket. That's what happened. So because of that fact, something has to give, right? And unfortunately, all the private landowners have from a revenue generating perspective is to sell some firewood, to sell some pine cones, but the hunting is no longer. Okay, so Robbie, what happened, right? Well, I can't prove the economics. Like, I can't prove the fact that there is no hunting and the knock-on effects for hotels, for restaurants, for bakers, for butchers, for all the things that are surrounding hunting. I have no proof for that, but I do have proof on another level. So there's a national park in Spain called Cabañeros. Cabañeros is about 40,000 hectares, okay? 40% of which is private land. And again, a year ago today, the ban went in place to stop hunting. So what has the Spanish government just done? The Spanish government has just realized they are in a place that they do not want to be. The habitat is absolutely destroyed, absolutely denuded, and they are overpopulated with wildlife. So they have told the hunters, they have told the hunting outfits that you need to take 5,000 animals. Yes, 5,000 animals in 28 days. What? Do you realize what that would do to the landscape, what it would do to the wildlife? That's incomprehensible. Like, hunters don't do that. Yet the government wants the hunters to do that right now? Why? Because the regulation that they put in place is now coming to fruition of what we said would happen. They were led by emotion. They were led by the ARAs. They were led by the anti-hunters to say, we don't want hunting. We actually don't care about wildlife and what's going to happen to the landscape and the habitat, because now you're seeing what is happening. But rather, we just want hunting gone. So now, the people who said, don't do it, let us continue to do what we do, are now being placed in a situation, you fix the issue we put in place that you said was going to happen, and you're not giving any financial compensation to the private landowners to do it. This is absolutely mind-boggling. This is what we constantly say. It is the proof. We say this is going to happen. They say, no, it won't. It happened. It's happening. But let's use this as a lesson. Let's use this as an opportunity to plant a seed, educate yourself about the consequences of taking an action away that is actually a tool for wildlife management and habitat maintenance. So the very thing that the anti-hunters were after, the banning of hunting, is now being used to rectify the situation. Seems a little ironic, right? You're not sharing this message for a blood origins perspective. You're sharing this message because this message needs to be heard by the non-hunters that interact in your social media circles. So by picking this message up and sharing it out across any social media platform, you are touching a community that needs to hear this message, because their perception will start changing around what hunting does for wildlife and what hunters really are like when it comes to wildlife conservation.